to do the Microsoft Azure Cobalt.
Oh yeah. So obviously, the OpenAI stuff is ongoing,
Yeah.
but other big Microsoft story for the week is that they're developing their own chips.
Yeah.
And this is not like a chip for a Surface product or anything like that. This is a custom CPU and AI Accelerator / GPU. So they've announced them. They haven't released the full specs, but they're designed, obviously, they're Microsoft Azure chips. So they're designed for their cloud and AI.
Yeah.
So you've got the Cobalt 100 CPU, which is using ARM architecture. And then you've got the Microsoft Azure Maia AI Accelerator, which is a GPU designed for generative AI and large language models. And both are on track to release sometime next year. Now, this is obviously Microsoft moving into the chip market itself, and also as it invests heavily in expanding the Azure cloud data centers and stuff globally. So they're actively looking to long term to make things more cost effective. So essentially, this is directly going to compete with hardware from NVIDIA, like the H100 GPUs.
Absolutely.
Hardware from AMD's new Instinct AI hardware.
Yeah.
Whatever Intel's cooking up and everything else. So what they have said about their AI, the big one is like the Maia 100 AI Accelerator, which is the GPU, right? So they've already said that it's going to be using TSMC's 5 nanometer process, which is not the most cutting edge, right? So Hopper uses 4 nanometer.
Okay.
And the next gen Blackwell or the next gen NVIDIA AI hardware will use 3 nanometer.
Yeah.
So, but it is a 5 nanometer chip with 105 billion transistors on it. Now, this is like, transistor count isn't a way to work
measure
out how powerful some performance.
Yeah.
But it is a measure of like how, I guess how physically, not just how physically big it is, but like how, what the ambition of it is. This is like a hardcore chip, right? Like if you compare it to the Hopper H100 GPU, that's got 80 billion transistors. But AMD's flagship MI300X, the Instinct AI GPU that Microsoft has said they're going to be using for certain things as well, that has 153 billion transistors. But that one's more comparative because that's also on a 5 nanometer process node. So I think that they're going for more of a like NVIDIA H100, where it's like cost effective, not Grace Hopper. It's not like the most advanced or the going to be running the most powerful data centers in the world. It's more for them to scale the Azure cloud network. And then the CPU is also designed specifically for the cloud. Now, they haven't shared benchmarks or anything like that, and that'll be when it becomes more interesting. But they said that it's currently being tested and it's in the early phases of deployment. So it's not ready to share full specs. So Microsoft isn't ready to share full specs or benchmarks at the moment.
Yeah.
But and they also have said explicitly, and rightfully so, because it's that they are going to continue to partner with and deploy hardware from NVIDIA, AMD into AI systems, which obviously makes sense because it's not like they're going to, like, you don't transition to your own chips and say like, oh, well, see you later. We've got our own chip now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is about part
tested.
of Microsoft's push into more generative AI ventures. Yep. And this is Microsoft isn't alone in doing this. Facebook are doing the same thing. I did a story yesterday about, Meta. Meta disbanding their responsible AI development team. There's like a regulatory body within Meta that was responsible for making sure Meta develop AI responsibly was disbanded. Majority of the workers were put onto generative AI ventures. So, and Meta has been shifting in this direction for some time. Microsoft is doing the exact same thing. They wouldn't have invested $10 billion in OpenAI if they weren't planning for generative AI ventures
Yeah.
through like Bing and all like autopilot and all of those things. Yeah, we've even got a quote from Sam Altman here, and at the time of writing was CEO of OpenAI, currently
Oh, right,
not.
yeah. Since first partnering with Microsoft, we've collaborated to co-design Azure's AI infrastructure at every layer for our models and unprecedented training needs, said Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI. We were excited when Microsoft first shared their designs for the Maia chip, so they've obviously working with Sam and OpenAI, and we worked together to refine and test it with our models. Azure's end-to-end AI architecture, now optimized down to the silicon with Maia, paves the way for training more capable models and making those models cheaper for our customers. So
these chips are going to work way better on GPTs.
So Sam Altman could be CEO of this division too, like the hardware.
Oh, for sure. Like what I take away from this is Microsoft has made chips that are optimized down to the silicon level, like they said, for training OpenAI's language models, the GPT, the underlying LLM that's powering AI tools such as ChatGPT and Dolly 3.
Yep.
And also like Copilot and stuff like that, like Bing Chat. And I mean, that's all using OpenAI's underlying tech. And now they've created hardware that is going to, I mean, they're going to get so much more powerful. This is something that I suppose we haven't seen before yet, because we haven't had hardware specifically designed to train large language models. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, like, but NVIDIA sort of like hardware is kind of like that, really, because all one of the reasons why they're so far ahead is that like they've been developing this stuff long before most people were investing so heavily.
Yeah, but
into
are they
AI.
more multi-purpose though? Like,
but they're like CUDA. The whole CUDA system is.
Oh right, yeah, of course,
language. It's
yeah.
like, it's all like it's intrinsically tied. Like tensor.
I was just thinking,
stuff.
is like this is more like these chips are specifically designed to do OpenAI large language models. It's like maybe we'll see more of a like there'll be a massive. I expect a massive performance because they're going to be so heavily optimized. But maybe NVIDIA's CUDA chips. They'll still.
It'll be interesting to see, because Microsoft. I mean, just the fact that Microsoft is developing a chip is pretty big news.
No, absolutely.
They've always been like you go back, like they've been in the PC business since forever, right? And when they're developing Windows and stuff, they didn't turn around and say, hey, we're going to make a CPU for Windows and it's going to be optimized for Windows. And, it's going to compete with the Intel Pentium or whatever it was back then. Like, they didn't do that. So them doing this for AI is huge, because a lot of it, because they're rolling out so much hardware, and like they got to be looking at it in terms of like cost effectiveness. Like, that's why like this is not going to be the most cutting edge in terms of process node. So it's but like, so a lot of companies are looking, because NVIDIA hardware and even like the AMD flagship hardware, this is expensive stuff, right? To buy, to run,
to
AI.
make,
and to create, to develop,
to make it,
to make all that sort of stuff. So they're looking at, well, if we're gonna be running, because let's say the Azure data center in Sydney, right? If that's going to be storing a local version of this AI large language model to be for people to run from the cloud from any Windows device, it'll be running on whatever, how many of these Maia chips.
Yeah, exactly right.
So let's just install them, right?
Yeah.
So like, we don't need to. We can develop and roll that at scale, right? So then we can say, in this city, the exact same system gets loaded in, and then all customers that are Office 365 customers in that region plug into that system, and they're all running these chips, and they're all running these models, and it's their in-house tech. There's obviously costs associated with that, but it's cheaper than.
So they're trying to cut some of the lunch from NVIDIA, because isn't NVIDIA's GPUs powering majority of OpenAI's LLMs?
That's right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. This is going to be... Oh, I like this, Costa. Oh.
Yeah, this is spicy stuff, because it'll evolve over the next couple of years to see
Yeah.
how it all pans out.
Is
Because
it-
NVIDIA, their CEO, Jensen Huang, has basically said recently, like, they know that their position in AI is constantly under attack.
Oh, for sure, because they're the only ones powering it. For sure. Do we have anything more on that one? That's a very interesting
No,
story. I'm going
But
to
it's
keep my
cool
eye on
though.
that.
I mean, like, it's fun because, like, I mean, they haven't. We'll update once we get full specs and benchmarks and things like
Yeah.
that. But it's just
Yeah, of
cool to
course.
see, like, silicon with just like Microsoft Azure on it. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, there it
Very
is.
cool.
There's a chip, a Microsoft chip.